it's not a shock that eventually it was the Warriors who decided to be the team to take the gamble. They are already so stacked with talent, it's an extremely low risk for them if things don't work out. But also because they play into June every season, they have the luxury of not rushing Boogie back before he's fully ready. On Boogie's side, well, he gets all those extra months to showcase his recovery before he becomes a free agent again next summer. Plus, if the Warriors do win the title again, he'll have a ring and some image rehab. Look, I have talked on this show plenty about how these supposed character questions surrounding Cousins are at best outdated. He has proved himself as one of the NBA's most philanthropic citizens. It's also ridiculous to label him as eternally toxic just because he spent the first chunk of his career in an organization that itself, at least some of the time, was often drenched in nuclear waste. Yet there are definitely some teams who still have him on what I guess you'd call a no-fly list. And perhaps after this stretch in Golden State, that will change too. It is part of the big bet Boogie is taking on himself. And make no mistake, that is exactly what's happening here. He knows there are plenty of folks who see him as a temperamental problem child whose body is now perhaps irreversibly broken. He sees himself as a future NBA champion. We'll find out who's right soon enough. So what do you guys think? Do you think he's going to silence his critics this season?
Maybe yes, maybe no. That's a great answer, right? Here's the problem, right? Part of it is we talked about the immense kind of margin for error Golden State has. So baked into that, he gets to come back slower, more sure of himself. He doesn't have to rush back, and he doesn't have the pressure of having to carry a team when he comes back. That, hey, we've been waiting for you, we need you. No, come back at your own pace. So he'll have the opportunity to come back the best version of himself after this injury and show out the best way he can. So that's the yes part. The no part is he's doing it on the Golden State Warriors, so it'll happen. Like Steve Kerr said, there'll maybe 7 possessions where you don't even touch it, right? And so the numbers won't look as gaudy as they did in Sacramento and New Orleans, and there'll be people who say, oh, see, I told you he's not the same, even though that's more a function of his role than it is maybe his body.
I'm going to focus on the no part, and Rachel, when you gave your eloquent monologue, it made me realize, just kind of sit on the fact that we are assuming the Golden State Warriors are going to make their 5th straight NBA Finals. I don't think NBA fans have quite figured out how to deal with a team like that. Modern NBA has never seen it. And so no matter what DeMarcus does, I think there will be some degree of criticism because, hey, you're going to join this juggernaut. And it's the same thing Kevin Durant will never escape. And that's why you see him jumping online and battling the critics, which I do sometimes online too. So I can relate to that.
2 points.
Exactly. But I think that same type of crowd will follow DeMarcus saying, you didn't really earn it. You're only here you're getting a free ring.
Right. Well,
but I think,
although, do you think his injury will the comeback from the injury takes some of that away?
I think so. And he said it in the piece. It wasn't that there was no one who put a long-term bet on him. So he didn't get any offers.
Right.
No offers?
Now, the Pelicans have come back and said that's not exactly true. And at his press conference today, Boogie said, well, only me and Dell Demps were on the phone, so my version is different from his version. We can see what it is. I think that point about Kevin Durant is really good. And obviously, anything you are able to do on a team like that gets muted a little bit by people being like, yeah, but that was just easy, so it doesn't count as much. I do think the fact that he is coming back from what has been a devastating, in some cases, career-ending injury for some guys makes the it's easy criticism a little different than like what Durant would face. I also liked in this press conference today, guys, he came out right at the top and he said, I just want to let everyone know my favorite Warrior is Clay. And I want to know if that's China Clay, if it's scaffolding Clay. But also in that presser, he talked about the fact that he and Clay haven't even spoken yet because nobody from the Warriors, as is typical in the summer, can get Klay Thompson on the phone.
That's awesome.